From Clothier Field on the campus of Swarthmore University, it's Swarthmore field hockey action, and the ladies have a tough one on their hands today, an important Centennial Conference matchup as they welcome in the Diplomats from Franklin and Marshall. Good afternoon, everyone. Daryl Dobe is back with you here. Glad, as always, to be bringing you field hockey action here on Clothier Field for the Garnet of Swarthmore University. Yeah, I know the Phillies are playing. Yeah, I know it's an important game, but they hang on. There's going to be another round, so why don't you take time out and take a look at a couple of excellent field hockey programs in action, one of them being the visitors here in Franklin and Marshall. They come in 9-3, half game off the lead in the Centennial Conference at 5-0. They're one half game behind the leaders in Johns Hopkins, who sit at 6-0, so just one game left to play here, and riding a 6-game win streak under the leadership of Caitlin Eager in her 6th year at the helm of the Diplomats. They are paced by their goalkeeping, some outstanding keepers we've talked about in the past, some good ones that have come through the doors here, the gates at Clothier Field. Well, one of them coming in today, more than likely will get the start. Senior Sydney Lippy might get her 8th start today. If she does, she comes in 6-1 with a goals against of .30. That's correct, .30. And a save percentage of .882. She has 4 shutouts. She is 4th in the NCAA in save percentage and 2nd in goals allowed. Meanwhile, sporting the cage for Swarthmore, struggled a little the last 2 games as her defense did, but Cassandra Conkin, still a great freshman season. 113 goals against, and an 8-4 record and an .809 save percentage. And with that, we'll turn it over to a PA announcer for the announcement of the starting lineups for today's contest. Moments away from the center pass at today's important Centennial Conference matchup. Some games that have already taken place today. Muhlenberg playing tough against Johns Hopkins. However, Hopkins ends up winning that one 1-0, so they stay undefeated in conference, 7-0, pick up their 11th win on the season. Muhlenberg falling to 3-4 in conference, losing their second consecutive game. Dickinson picks up its first conference win of the year by taking down their Sinus Bear program that early in the season was ranked as high as 13th. Now they are not ranked at all. Ursinus now 3-3 in conference, under 500 on the record. Dickinson breaks a 10-game losing streak in beating Ursinus today. It was in overtime, but Dickinson, the Devils, with first win against 6 losses in conference, 2-1 over Ursinus. And Bryn Mawr, who our officials today actually had to go ref that game, such as the shortage of officials in all sports, really. You don't notice it, but it's there, folks. And I can tell you from personal example, it's tough on officials at all levels. And they worked the Bryn Mawr game earlier, and Bryn Mawr, who lost their first game their last time out, pick up a win against the Green Terror of McDaniel, 5-1. So Bryn Mawr stays a game behind Johns Hopkins for the top spot in the conference. Franklin and Marshall trying to stay a game behind as well, or at least a half game behind, if they can pick up a win today. Swarthmore can jump into 4th place all by themselves. In fact, they sit there right now all by themselves at 3-2, or Ursinus dropping to 3-3, help take care of that. Washington College, not a great loss, not that there are good losses, but not a great loss for the Garnet in that one. Team that had only won one conference game coming in. That ended a 4-game win streak for the Garnet. They're taking on Gettysburg right now. And, of course, we have Franklin Marshall, the Diplomats, against your Garnet. And we are underway, and just a whole line of Garnet right there to start things off on the center pass. Thanks for joining us today here on the Garnet Sports Network. As you can imagine, hometown Swarthmore Garnet in Garnet, and White defending the goal to the left. In cage, Cassandra Conklin, the freshman, 8-4 record, 113 goals against, 809 save percentage. Her rankings have gone down in the NCAA, but she is still one of the best goaltenders in the nation in that respect. The white and blue of the Diplomats guarding the cage to our right. Again, Sydney Lippy out of Sparks, Maryland, the senior. Second in the nation in goals against at .32. Fourth in save percentage at .882. She has allowed a grand total of 2 goals on 17 shots on goal with 4 shutouts. So this will be a major test for the ladies in Garnet. As a bad pass across there by Thistlethwaite, nearly stolen away by the Garnet. And now it will lead to a turnover. And a foul will be called after trying to get free was Grace Twitchell. Passed into the 25. And fouling there is Finley, Brooke Finley for the Garnet, trying to get it back. Quickly restarted by Carolina Riley at a nearby by Malvern, PA. The long send upfield will go over the end line, and a break there for the Garnet, trying to play it over on that far side. For the Garnet was their backline leader, Grace Fuselier, but she missed it. And actually, that's a 5, not a 2. That was Amelia Landry who missed it. And because there was no touch, they were allowed to play it with a free hit on the 16. 4 quarters, 15 minutes apiece. If we need more, we play more. Beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. For anything. And we know some of the locals taking in the Phillies at Citizens Bank as a pass inside, misplayed by the Garnet, and just like that, a corner opportunity here for the Diplomats. Little breeze, a little cool in the mid-60s. And great weather for just about any activity you want short of going swimming. Insert coming in from Darby Klopp out of Lewes, Delaware. Gets the whistle, plays it up near the top of the circle. Sent across to the right elbow. Misplaying it was Amelia McCarthy. Trying to send it in. It gets knocked down by the Garnet. Not quite cleared out. As Kim trying to get it out. Ends up off the foot of McCarthy. And a break there for the Garnet. The Garnet are going to have to go back to their excellent defensive ways here in this game. Again, a little bit of a slip up against Washington College, a 3-2 loss there. They've been known to get off to slow starts, even though they've only allowed one goal, and that was against McDaniel in the first quarter. They have not gotten off to great starts against opponents. That will not work very well against Franklin and Marshall as a step up and a steal there from number 19, Carolina Riley out of Malvern, PA. Then she had her pocket picked by Fuselier. Walked right into a tackle of Jessica Miller. Miller sent it in the circle, but it's sent back out on a smart play by Emma Duffield. Franklin and Marshall not too far away from here. About an hour and a half, give or take. Lancaster, however you wish to pronounce it, Pennsylvania. Down the turnpike off of Route 30. Step up and a steal by Katie Roper, one of the captains on this team, the senior from Reading, PA. Dribbling in is Roper. She got it back. Sent across. Shot, score. And just like that, the defense leaks. Cassandra Conklin unable to plug the hole. And in the back of the cage, in an early goal. Earliest goal scored on the Garnet this year comes less than 5 minutes in, and it's 1-0 Diplomats. Just the second goal given up this year in the first quarter by the Garnet. It looks like they're going to give it to Jessica Miller. If they do, that'll be her 7th. And Roper will get an assist for Roper. That's her 2nd assist of the year. And for Miller, the sophomore at a nearby Glens Mills, that's her 7th goal. That now breaks the tie she had with Sophie Carroll, the junior, for the goal-scoring lead. As Callie Cho, the captain, trying to pass it, stolen away. Except for the goal, this is remnant of the first time we saw these ladies this year against then number 2 Rowan University. A little more speed, heavy pressure. Cassandra Conklin was an absolute brick wall in that one in a 2-1 loss in overtime. 18 saves in that contest. Put her on the map real early. And actually put this Garnet team on the map as well, showing how hard they played. They turned right around. The other ranked team they ended up playing was in their own conference, and Johns Hopkins only lost that one 1-0. Things a little different, though, with this Franklin and Marshall team. The last 31 opportunities to play them, 9-21-1, and right now on the wrong side of a 13-game losing streak against the Diplomats. Last time the Garnet won, it was at home back on October 27th of 2007. If there's any small hope for the Garnet, they have a 6-10-1 record against the Diplomats. As Finley tried to pass it in, and a foul will be called in the circle after Finley able to help work it into the circle with her teammates. And a good pushback here from the Garnet, as now they will have an opportunity to try and knot this one up. Both these teams have been very good at getting corners. The one earlier for Franklin Marshall was their 96th. This one, in now 13 games, is 123. For the Garnet, Cho, off the left, driven, bounces, hit a body in front, and unfortunately hit Cho. And the first opportunity turned aside here by F&M. 8:45 left to go first quarter and a constantly running clock. Anna Harris going to have to get her charges back in line here. It looks like they are. Sarah Cooper checking in for the first time. She'll replace the captain, Callie Cho. Cooper, the freshman in her 8th game out of Warrington, PA. A Titan from Central Buck South. She ought to be familiar with white and blue. That's the school's colors. A little late step up there by her and knocked away and pushed up by Klopp. To the right side for McCarthy. She'll drive it towards the circle. Good drive there, smothered and knocked out by Amanda Rossler. And this one ricochets off of McCarthy's stick and over the sideline. And it will be a free hit on the sideline here for the Garnet. Pass, kind of a blind one, stepping in from the backside and picking up his Klopp. Klopp lifts it into the circle. That's legal. Played down. Trying to get it out and unable to get it out are the Garnet. That's because of a foul, and it's just driven. And while they lose possession after the hit by Rossler, at least they get some room to maneuver as we have hit the midway point here in quarter number 1. Miller from Roper. The lone tally here in the first as a pass just eludes Deborah Kim. And Kim will be called for the foul. Kim thought it was going the other way, and a strong blast of the whistle lets him know wrong way. Bad throw there by Franklin and Marshall, played down by the Garnet. And then running into it inadvertently was McCarthy. Steal back the other way. Bouncing ball. This is a turf that is brand new this year. Needs to get broken in a little bit. And soccer, lacrosse, no big deal, but field hockey, the ball tends to bounce a little bit on newer turf, and that's been an issue from time to time. As the drive by Maddie Bickle. Played up the right side, but over the sideline. And out by Kira Bench. Out of Landisville, PA. Picked up by Study. Cat Study sends it in the circle. Foul, however, called against Sophie Carroll. Scarsdale, New York junior. So after that one push right now, the Garnet just kind of struggling to get their feet back again. Pinned in the corner, turned over, but a foul called. Break there for the Garnet. Franklin and Marshall right now on an incredible run. Again, winners of their last 6, but their last 4 have all been shutout victories. That is not easy to do at any level. St. Joseph's out of Division I, they just had their 5-game shutout streak ended in a victory, but lost it recently. 338 total minutes of scoreless play between the end of a loss that preceded the 5-game win streak of shutouts. Franklin Marshall defeated Ursinus 1-0, then beat Gettysburg 3-1, which kind of broke the string. And then took care of Mary Washington and Haverford at home 3-0 and 5-0. Washington College on the road 2-0, and then Dickinson 4-0 at home. So 6 games win, 1 goal allowed, 5 shutouts. That is an excellent run for Franklin Marshall. As a long pass sneaks its way through to the 25 to Carroll. Carroll sends it in the circle. It bounces around. Hands up in the air there by Conklin saying, I ain't touching it. The referee says, smart move. It's going to you. Four minutes left. Garnet trying to find something to push it through. Near midfield, Sophia Hitchingham. As players lose an edge right there near midfield, it's stolen away, and quickly the other way is Darby Klopp. Klopp made a move. Basketball would have been great. Here she forgot the ball. And a long diagonal pass to midfield. You got to really rip those. That one just fluttered in. And Grace Foss was able to steal it for the Dips. Meg Carrot drives it down the side. Works its way into the circle. Stopped there by Landry. Landry spinning, trying to get out of trouble. Now pinned right there in the corner. And a break there for Franklin and Marshall as it went off her stick last. It'll be a free hit at the 25 coming in for the Diplomats. Got to carry 5 before you send in a circle. It's carried 5 and then sent down to the end line. And maybe shouldn't have been played there. Might have crossed the end line. Been a better opportunity for the Garnet, but they get a break after a foul call against Foss. Hard pass. High pressure up top here. Forces a turnover at the 25 for the Diplomats. Quickly in transition. Cutting to the middle is Study. Study working into the circle. Foul called. And official thinking that advantage was lost. Whistles the foul and the corner. Much to the chagrin of some of the fans here below and to my right. That'll stop the clock temporarily with 2:58. Excuse me, 2:37 left in the quarter. As the teams look to get their protective gear back on. Flyers trying to stay healthy here. So these ladies can rip it. And there's one coming in. That one kicked aside by Conklin. Pops up in the air. A little dangerous after the save by Cassandra Conklin on the drive by Sophie Carroll. And so another corner coming up here for the Diplomats. This will be the third. Come back over to Carroll. Carroll gives up the shot. Sneaking in, ripped, deflected, score. It's 2-0. And I believe that was Carolina Riley, the junior. If so, that'll be her third. And it is 2-0 early here against a stunned Garnet side. As we get a quick substitution, is checking in is Faith Dementova, junior out of Powell, Ohio. She will replace Sophie Carroll. So midi for midi for Caitlin Eager. Good stop on the sideline and then getting hit was Jackie Crowley, but they got the foul on her right along the sideline. One-on-one crime. Ella Page banged into her, and Ella Page picked off that pass. Then she lost it, trying to get it up as Campbell. Campbell pushed it up to the sideline. Good save there, hustling over to get it by Elizabeth Zack. Zack getting it away from Jessica Miller. And a foul trying to sweep it away against Thistlethwaite. Sent into the circle, coming to kick it away there is Lippy. And it goes off the leg of a Swarthmore player. So they got to push, just couldn't sustain it. Sent along the sideline and mishit there by Katie Roper. Roper, Klopp, Mumby, the three captains for the Diplomats. And they're going to say a foul wrong side of the stick by Jessica Miller. The Diplomats allows a chance here for Swarthmore, and then foul called. Reaching for it was Roper, and she got fouled. Under a minute to go here from Clothier Field. Has not been a clean start. Was trying to be cute, knocking that down was Dementova. Couldn't do it. Again, has not been a great start here by the Garnet. Their defense has been a strong suit, although Hannah Harris saying to me earlier in the year It's not something we work on specifically, but right now it's the defense that is kind of broken down a little here. There's a third-party obstruction called here. Sneaking in was Martina Campbell. It'll stay with the Diplomats as we hit the 10-second mark. And really, they don't have to play anything. It's Thistlethwaite coming in. Good aerial to midfield. Played down. They're going to get a 5-yard call, but it's not going to matter. It would have gone against Swarthmore. But right now, for the most part, the entire quarter, unfortunately for the Garnet, has gone against Swarthmore. Goals by Miller and Riley for Franklin and Marshall. Have one of the top teams. Second quarter about ready to get underway here. From Swarthmore University, Clothier Field. It's the first time we have seen here at home this little strategy of just launching it deep, trying to flip the field position. Hannah Harris trying something to kind of throw off a strong Diplomat squad, and well, it works so far. Cat Study called for the foul. First saw that a year or two ago, international games and some Division I contests as well. Just send it deep and go play a little defense, see if you can get a turnover. Well, it nearly worked that time for the Garnet. But great transition here by the Diplomats. Dodged by Bench. Lost it. Teammates. Riley has her back. Sent in a circle from about 40 out. Foul called here against the Garnet. Turnaround shot looking for a foul. The shot was Jessica Miller. Didn't get it. And the Garnet able to clear it out and get it over to Campbell. What they're playing for, other than just a win, is also a top 6 spot for the conference playoffs. Hannah Harris turned this program around and got them to got Garnet to the conference semis last year with a 6-4 league record, 13-6 overall. Top 6 go. All rounds at higher seeds. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, 1 gets a bye. The way things are going right now, it looks like Hopkins and Franklin and Marshall will be playing for that bye. That game is coming up on the 19th, so the next contest here for Franklin Marshall could determine the top seed, which has been Johns Hopkins for some time in the Centennial Conference playoffs. So there's still plenty of time here right now for the Garnet. They need to get their offense on track here, as they are down 2-0. Driven into the circle. The bouncer trying to control it was Kim. Lost it. And then the foul called here as Cho was able to steal it back, and she got fouled. Just outside the broken line. Dribbling in, get around McCarthy. Inside top of the circle. Spin around, deflected off the stick of one, maybe 2 different Diplomats into a crowd. And made it dangerous. And second corner opportunity here for the Garnet. As Harris and her assistants signaling the play they want. Down to our left. The captain, Callie Cho. To the left of the cage as we see it. See if they give a chance to Campbell to drive it. Goes to her up top. She'll give it up. The drive down low. Right, no problem with the right leg save there by Lippy. Still controlled here by the Garnet. Good tackle to smother it out. And draw the foul by Carolina Riley. And the good throw near the end line with a little bit of help from Lippy, sending the equipment over the end line. That's one of those weird rules. You can wear protective equipment if you want, but if you leave it on the field, it can lead to a penalty. So you got to make sure you get rid of it. Teeing it up to the right side to Fiona Heaps. Heaps got it to Twitchell right on the line. Twitchell fouled. Stick foul called there by Sophia Carroll. Other captain, Fiona Heaps, there trying to drive it. Got turned over. Klopp to the right side to McCarthy. Pushed it away from Basewitz. Flipped off the stick there of Bench. And goes over the sideline. They're going to say it's in favor of the Garnet. As we mentioned, top six. And we're getting near the end here, folks, at least for the Garnet. 4 league games left. At Ursinus, at Dickinson, then home to Bryn Mawr and Haverford. Not an easy schedule here down the stretch for the Garnet. Coming into today, your top 6 were Franklin and Marshall, Johns Hopkins, Bryn Mawr, Swarthmore, and Ursinus. And then there's a tie below that between Haverford and Muhlenberg at 3-3. Now, obviously, some teams have an extra game to play. Washington College is a game behind in the standings at 2-3, for example. So that 6th seed right now, I mean, anything below basically 1 and 2 and 3 almost in the bag. 4, 5, and 6 still in a little bit of doubt. But it's always to be playing from ahead than behind. There's a pass stolen there by Carroll and then kind of a deliberate obstruction by her. After the steal, foul called on Landry. It went off her leg, sent up the line by Studdy. Trying to get after it and getting there right on the end line was Bench. Brings it down the end line, flips it in towards the circle. Diving is Conklin. Mad scramble in front. Still loose. Still loose. Looking, the official looking for something to happen. Finally, Conklin holds her ground. There's a joust right in front of her. Can't stop it. Something's got to happen. Finally, it's cleared back a little bit. Up to the top of the circle. Stolen away there by Kim. Good stand there by the Garnet. A lot of action for having no action. As Roper steals a pass, sends it across. Nearly stolen away. Now it is here. This one by Finley. Finley fouled. Restart by by Kim. Pass back, looking for somebody, either Kim or Cho. Went right between them. Zach tried to play it. And then stolen away by the by the Diplomats. 8:45 to go here in the first half. Stealing a push by Landry. Foul on the Diplomats. Landry will restart right in front of the Diplomats bench. Ella Page out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Sophomore from Myers Park High School getting ready to check in here for the Diplomats. Diplomats have definitely been able to find space here in the first half. Been able to use their speed and their spacing very well. As it's sent back to the former New Hope Lion in Kat Thistlethwaite. fact, her team right now, at least in high school in the PIAA, the top seed so far getting ready for district playoffs. New Hope has had an excellent small school program for quite some time. After the foul, Kim trying to send it, lifted up into Roper. Foul was called on Roper. It was just outside the circle, though. Trying to drive it was Twitchell. Ends up in the circle, a right pad save again by Lip. Lippy with a big save. But on the rebound, a foul called against Franklin and Marshall. And another corner coming up here for the Garnet. They are 0-2 so far. And tell your friends you can tune out the Phillies game right now. They're up 5, nearing the bottom of the 6th. In fact, we might be able to hear the screams from Citizens Bank Park from here. Cho to the left side of the circle. Swung to the right to Twitchell. She'll drive. In front. Score! A much-needed goal with 7:13 left in the half. And a rare one to boot given up by Sydney Lippy. And cuts the lead in half. It is now 2-1. Diplomats. Twitchell with an excellent drive, kept it right along the top of the grass. Not sure if it was deflected, though, but it did sneak past the left pad of the senior from Sparks, Maryland. And that will break the shutout streak for Franklin and Marshall at 4 games in a row. So over 240 consecutive minutes. They are going to give the goal to Elizabeth Zach, the sophomore. Will have her first goal of the season. Twitchell will also get her first points of the year. Foul called here against Page. They're resetting to where the foul was. Twitchell with 17 shots on goal, hasn't been able to get one of them to go in, but she'll take an assist. And again, her first of the year. Fighting, hitching him, trying to get in the circle, trying to get away from 4 different Diplomats. And then she's going to get hit with a stick foul. That was a tough spot to be in for the former Falcon. Long aerial, trying to play it down there. Was base switch, but she missed. And now the Diplomats up the sideline with McCarthy. Long pass as they have their forwards back there. It's the Diplomats sending it across through the goal mouth. And unable to get a stick on it. There was Bench. And they will say it was deflected or no. I'm still looking here as the ball comes out. No, they're going to say it's a 16 coming out here. No, they aren't. They're going to say it's deflected by a Garnet stick. Players didn't quite know who was playing it. Now that they know, they get in position. Darby Klopp holding, got to carry it 5. Tried to send it in. Fitchell was looking to see what it hit off of, couldn't tell. Play continues. As the pass goes behind Twitchell, she saves it from the sideline. No one really attacking her yet. She'll drive it right at the 25. It's smothered by Page. Page carries towards the middle, tries to lead Klopp. Gets picked off, however, by the Garnet. And then a pass taken too long there, nearly stolen by Page. A break there as it bounces off her stick right to Twitchell. Cho misfired and got hit for the stick foul. Dangerous swing of the stick there right in front of number 19, Carolina Riley. Darby Klopp not alone on this team. Her sister Riley, the sophomore. Also on this squad. Pass into the circle, deflected off the foot of a Swarthmore player. I believe that was Amanda Rossler. Gets up in the crowd, and the foul goes in favor of the Diplomats. they will have a chance at corner number 4. Sitting at 99 now on the season. And the senior, Darby Klopp, will insert. She's on top of that ball like she's driving it at Pinehurst. To McCarthy. Right side. Page trying to send it in. Nowhere to go. Flipped up. Shot. And a foul called. The Diplomat fans are cheering. However, the officials have called a foul against the Diplomats on that shot. And my guess is because that lift was in a dangerous spot, the official ruled it dangerous and whistled it out. Any lift, you have 3 spots where the ball has to be not dangerous. On the lift, on the apex of the flight, and on the landing. 2 or more people in an area, or a lift right in front of a player who's defending you, that's dangerous. And on that shot there were a lot of bodies in between the cage and Page. Didn't mean to alliterate there, folks. So my guess is that's the reason why. Otherwise, it was a heck of a shot. Stolen by Basewitz. Up to Cho. Cho trying to flick it on, trying to get Finley on a run. Finley goes in. And the foul actually will be on Finley and a break there because, I should say a break if you're a Franklin Marshall fan, because bodying her up was Katie Roper. And if that foul did not happen first by Finley, that could have very easily been a penalty stroke, as Finley would have had an opportunity to score, stolen from her on a one-on-one. Pass sneaks through to Cho. Check it, Kim. Kim with a move. And they call a lift on that one. Went into the body of a Diplomat. And Thistlethwaite will play it to Page. The cross flipped up. Dangerous there again by Klopp. Again, just because you say dangerous doesn't mean there's intent. Just that's what happened. Pass across to Page. Page on a misplay. Page is like, what did I do? Driven towards the circle, and lucky there that Thistlethwaite did not hit it. As now it'll be a Diplomat 16. Under 2 to go. Driven up. A couple players miss it. Ends up on the stick somehow of a Diplomat. I believe that was Avery Needland out of nearby Malvern. After the foul driven by Roper. Nice drive there. Misplayed. And misunderstanding there was Landry. Restarted by Carroll. Foul goes against Swarthmore. Flipped into the circle and cleared out there. Things getting a little scrambly right now on both sides, as we're under a minute to go here. Sideline restart here for the Diplomats. Third party obstruction, as they're going to get Jackie Crowley there. Coming in as the third. Pushing it hard again is Studdy. Into the circle, and a stick foul called here against the Diplomats. Never-ending pressure here from Franklin and Marshall. Able to withstand it to a point here has been Swarthmore. We're able to turn it into a very rare goal on Sydney Lippy. That's a joust right in front of the Swarthmore bench. Wrong side of the stick foul called against Franklin and Marshall as we hit 5 seconds. Pass comes up to Finley. Finley tries to drive, misfires on it. It'll be handled by Thistlethwaite, and that'll do it for the first half. We told you there'd be action left and right. Most of it was for the Diplomats in the first. And while they controlled most of the better part of the action in the second, the Garnet able to finally break through and get a goal courtesy for the first time this year. Elizabeth Zach, the sophomore out of Sewickley, PA, out in the Pittsburgh area, celebrating, and why not? She has her first goal, first assist of the year as well to Grace Twitchell. That'll do it for the first half. When we come back, we will get you caught up on the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll get you caught up on the standings. We'll get you the game by the numbers, and we'll get you ready for quarter number 3 here from Swarthmore University. Right now, Centennial Conference action. It's the visiting Diplomats with the 2-1 lead on the Garnet. We'll be back in a moment here on the Garnet Sports Network. Halftime continues here at Clothier Field. Daryl Doe's back with you as the teams talking strategy at their respective locations. Gives you the chance to see the game by the numbers. 2 goals in the first for Franklin and Marshall, as Miller was able to get one less than 5 minutes in for the Diplomats. One of the rare goals given up in the first quarter by the Garnet. And for Jessica Miller, it was her now team-leading 7th. She ended up scoring a goal against the Garnet last year. It was the 3rd goal scored in a 3-1 win at Franklin and Marshall. That made it 1-0. And then coming up not too much later, it was Carolina Riley who scored the game-tying goal last year in the second quarter, by the way. Gets one in the first here, her 3rd of the year. And Malvern P.A. Jr. made it 2-0 going into the second quarter. Play still leaned in favor of the Diplomats. In that quarter, however, Swarthmore able to get a little more pressure in on Cage, and it finally paid off. As able to get her first of the year was Elizabeth Zach. First assist of the year from Grace Twitchell, and they snuck one of the rare goals by Sydney Lippy, just the 3rd she's allowed in 8 games so far. Again, one of the nation's best in save percentage and goals allowed per game, and that made it 2-1, and hopefully that'll make things a little more positive, a little more of a pick-me-up, if you will, if you are a fan of the Garnet. Conklin in the net, 3 saves, 2 goals allowed in the first, 2 saves, 1 goal allowed by Lippy for Franklin and Marshall. A reminder, playing for something important here. Top 6 teams go to the conference playoffs. Top seed will get a bye. Higher seeds will all host respective teams. As we mentioned, a lot of games have already taken place so far today. On a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. Overtime, Dickinson got their first win of the year, 2-1 over Ursinus, and Ursinus team that has really fallen on hard times. It seems like here lately they have fallen apart as a ranked team to an unranked team real quick. Bryn Mawr staying atop the league, 5-1 over McDaniel. Muhlenberg holding tough against Johns Hopkins, but the top team in the Centennial with a 1-0 win over the Mules of Muhlenberg. As trying to drive are the Diplomats. They can't do anything with it as the foul was called against Cat Study. As we're underway here in quarter number 3, the Diplomats guarding the cage to our left in the shadows. Sneaking up here on Clothier Field. Road white, blue shorts, the hometown Garnet wearing the hometown Garnet. And they're defending the cage to the right. And right now, one game going on here. Gettysburg and Washington College. And Washington College with the 3-2 lead on Gettysburg early. As a shot, not real strong. Conklin able to knock it away. Diving, sent across the goal mouth as she was all alone on the near post, went across a wide open net, unable to get the bouncing ball on her stick was Carroll. Ooh, a big break there. Conklin had to come out and play it the first shot, kind of dribbled on her, she kicked it away, it got knocked down, and then had to aggressively go after it again. The pass went over her from a very sharp angle down the end line. And unable to redirect it there was Sophie Carroll. And now a foul just inside the circle, and look at disbelief from Amelia Landry saying, "What'd I do?" And it's being explained to her right now, though I'm going to guess she's not going to agree. Again, Franklin and Marshall, they've got Johns Hopkins pretty much for the who's going to win the league here at this point. As they're trying to stay neck and neck with the Blue Jays. Corner number 5 here for the Diplomats. Brought in. Pass to the front. Good stop there by Fuselier to stop that shot. Can't clear it, though. Still fighting to get rid of it. Good dancing with the stick there, and getting fouled was Fuselier as Carroll got her. So a good job there by the Flyers of the Garnet. Basewitz drives it, and Cho ends up fouling. Cho cutting off her offensive Diplomat. Drops back, and now with it here is Riley. Riley the spin and the pass to the left side. Carried in, but then losing it was Roper. And then a foul there once again by the Garnet. Just extra speed here by the Diplomats as a pass deflected to the end line. Trying to get to it first is Landry. Racing up the sideline, but she's cut off. Channeled right into a defender. And then sent out of harm's way eventually by Twitchell. Still offensive pressure here coming now from the Diplomats. Dodge forgot the ball, able to get it back, however, was Riley. Riley being guarded by Kim. Needs help, got it. Shoveled in towards the circle, trying to get a stick on is Jessica Miller. Does. Her reverse goes wide, but they're going to get a third-party obstruction call here instead before any of that takes place on Carroll. So after the center pass, once again, play continuing pretty much in the Diplomats' offensive half. As a pass too long for McCarthy. Now a chance here for Basewitz to at least get it over midfield, but right there to steal it away are the Diplomats. Fuselier in trouble, had to get away from Carrot. All the way back, good deke there by Rossler. Trying to pass it up, McCarthy able to knock it away for the Diplomats. Flicked on, but unable to control it, was Bench. In some trouble here is Duffield. Duffield able to get over midfield with the help of Rossler. The Diplomats able with good D to get it back. Driven, Cho slows it up. Can't control it, however. And a break because it was touched last by McCarthy. Just able to get that pass by the stick of Miller. Good hit there by Duffield. Finally works to the far side. Over there is Twitchell. With a dodge and then gets fouled. On a restart. Went to make a move, but the move failed. Good defense there by the Diplomats. And then able to maintain control of it is Miller. Miller stopped by Twitchell. Passes it back, trying to get some space. As Jackie Crowley comes in to replace Brooke Finley. Meanwhile, ball stolen away. Trying to make a move is Kim. She got fouled by, I believe that was Parker. I believe that was number 12. Cho goes wide right. Twitchell. Kim in the circle. Got double teamed, and in doing so ends up fouling herself. So Franklin Marshall hold tight, 16 yards out, and they will get a free hit. And a misplay on that free hit. Definitely an unforced error there by the Diplomats. Darby Klopp. Dodged by Basewitz, got fouled. Not sure if it was McCarthy that got her or not, but the foul just the same as it's sent in by Cho. Comes all the way in, deflected in on goal, and on the kick. Went off of a stick and over the crossbar. And holding their hands out right now is Lippy saying, what the heck? That would not have been a goal if it went in. The pass came from outside the circle. And meanwhile, speaking of pass outside the circle, a mistake by Swarthmore. As the ball was not carried 5 yards, the original hit came from the 25. Had to hit a stick or somebody else before it went in the circle, and it didn't. The official right on top of that. The drive, miss-hit, ends up being a foul. And not aware of that right there was number 6 Bench. Cho tried to get it. Foul called against Swarthmore. Another foul on Swarthmore, and a restart coming up here right in front of the Diplomat bench by number 9, Meg Carrot. And a lot of oohs and ahs after that aerial mishandled. Stolen away. Up the sideline. Trying to cut in is Miller. Her pass, though, stolen away. Flicked out of trouble, but right onto the stick of the Diplomats' Riley. And now a foul will be called and a card will be issued. It'll be a green card. It'll go against the captain. One of the rare cards issued against Swarthmore this year. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the first one for Cho. So an opportunity here on corner number 6 for the Diplomats as Klopp will send it in. Swarthmore for the next 2 minutes, so until 5:04. We'll have to play one down. Miss hit on the drive. It's got to come outside the circle. It's pushed up to McCarthy. McCarthy drives it from outside the circle. Deflected high. And a corner coming off of that. A break there for the Diplomats. As that was not a clean hit. Klopp got more ground than ball. Again, on the insert, that ball has to go outside the solid circle, the scoring circle, before it can be considered for a goal. As on the end line, a defensive save, unbelievable play right there, made by number 22, Amanda Rossler. Conklin's going to owe her a soda after that one. Still with it, though, the Diplomats trying to spin his Miller to get the shot off. Unable to do so. It's outside the circle, but controlled by Franklin and Marshall. Sent in. Then trying to knock it back out. Can't. Deflected shot went through the 5-hole of Conklin. It goes in anyway as Franklin and Marshall finally tallies one home. It's 3-1. Another defensive breakdown by the Garnet, courtesy of the aggressive offensive play from the Diplomats. And for the third time this year, and just the second time, actually in the last 2 games, Conklin and the defense have given up 3 goals. They lost to a tough Cabrini College team out of the Atlantic East, 3-1. They lost to Washington College, 3-2. And here they're down 3-1 again, trying to avoid a second 2-game losing streak this year. So Riley able to get the goal. It's her second. And if scoring 1 goal wasn't tough enough against this Franklin and Marshall team, now the Garnet have to get 2 more again. High drive, and would have been good in golf. That one not good right there by Carrot. Basewitz able to get it to the outside. Doesn't get there very quick. Franklin Marshall allowed to collapse on Twitchell. And it works real well as, I believe that's Roper on the far side that stole it away. 5:15 to go. Pass comes up to the 25 onto the stick of bench. Stolen away, however, by Rossler and the Garnet. Franklin and Marshall like to keep 2 or 3 offensive players real deep. Swarthmore likes to get all of their players in the offensive half when they can. They're unable to do that for two different reasons. They're playing defense deep, and right now this Franklin Marshall team has just been too athletic, and a foul is going to be called here as the tackle from behind by Hitchingham is going to draw a foul. So the last goal, which was not officially scored on a corner, began because of a corner. And now up 3-1 with their 8th corner coming up here and 4:35 left. Chance for another one. However, the penalty to Cho is over, as you might have seen her on the field. The green card is over. They try the near side for this insert. Push back to the right side. Bounces off the stick of Carroll. Sent down the end line. Carroll trying for a dodge, gets a foul. As the foul on Landry. Franklin Marshall, a bunch of them checking their sticks. Getting ready for the play call here from Caitlin Eager. Again, the near side insert coming in from the captain, one of 3, Darby Klopp. See if she goes to Riley again. She does. Riley mishandled, got it back. Pass across to McCarthy. Her shot smothered, but they're going to say a foul on Cho. So we'll try again. Corner number 10 coming up. I believe the only other game they were out-cornered, 2 games, was Rowan and Johns Hopkins. They'll try the left side again. Driven. Great job to smother it right there by the flyer and Landry. Still an opportunity for the Diplomats. Comes loose, 10 out, flicked up high and wide. Now, unlike the aerial shot that was whistled down earlier in the first half, that one cleared everybody with no danger, flew into an area with no danger. The official rightly letting it go, but it went wide. As a clear by Conklin, maybe a bit of a mistake. Conklin out talking with some of her back line players. Might have been able to let that go. But Conklin's clear, a little dangerous, and another corner coming up. Swarthmore playing with fire right now. So Klopp will set up again. Off to the left elbow, back to Klopp. Tries to flick it. It was deflected. Letting it go was Conklin. But it's going to be a free hit coming in from 25 here for the Diplomats. Small reprieve for the Garnet. And is calling for the ball there on the left side was Darby Klopp. And she will set up. Again, on that 25, it's got to go 5. Either it's got to be carried or it's got to be touched by somebody's stick before it goes in the circle. The pass back knocked down by Kim. Her dodge eventually works as she gets fouled by Riley. Quick restart. Goes back to Cho. Right side to Twitchell. Fires it down the right alley. Finley on the run. Finley to the circle. Drives it in. Deflected right in on goal. And they're going to say it was deflected off the leg of a Diplomat. And just like that, a corner opportunity here for the Garnet. For Franklin and Marshall, it's been a steady barrage of jabs, hooks, and uppercuts. Swarthmore occasionally getting in a wild right hand. Need to get another one here. Up top, Pass across, shot, deflected, wide. Pass coming over from Campbell. Sent in, deflected just wide by Finley. As the insert on that one was by Anna Stankovsky, junior out of Lowe's, Delaware. A lot of players here today from Lowe's, Delaware. But she really only has been thrown in there by Hannah Harris when it looks like there's going to be a corner opportunity. She is playing with a brace on her right leg. Has a foul here on the Garnet. 1.5 left to go. Philly still hanging on to their 4-run lead. Again, you can hear the screams of Citizens Bank Park, I think, right now from our spot here in Swarthmore. Cho trying to get free. Her pass into a couple players are going to say it hit the leg, though, of Kim. It's a high aerial. Bounces down cleanly to McCarthy, despite the attempt to steal it away midair from Cooper. Sent into the circle. Bouncing around, coming out. Conklin able to kick it away. A second opportunity, a third opportunity. Still looking, and finally it goes off the body of a teammate. And another corner coming up here for the Diplomats. Conklin has been a little busier than normal the last couple of games. And now a 12th corner coming up here for the Diplomats with under 40 to play. To the top of the circle. Holding. Trying to drive and misfiring. That's dangerous use of the stick right there on Riley. Trying to get it up quickly is Swarthmore. Unable to get it anywhere is Kim. And Kim ends up drawing the foul. Quick restart for the Diplomats. Near tackle on the near side by Rossler. And then finally knocked away. Kim trying to get some help. Passed on. Miscommunication. It's going to be picked up, however, by Avery Needland of Franklin and Marshall. And because of that, Rossler forced the foul in another corner. And that was the result of some miscommunication in the midfield as to who was going to clear out that pass. So 10 seconds and maybe more. The clock runs out. The corner continues until the corner is finished. So Swarthmore has really got to play this one out as it's sent in by Klopp. To the left elbow, sent across to McCarthy, straight away. Comes across, shot, deflected, wide, cleared, but not out. Sent across again, deflected right in front. Play still continues, shot on goal, that one's cleared. And another corner is going to be called on a deliberate clear of the end line by Conklin. But I'm not going to blame her on that one. There was a large crowd of players right in front of her. And Conklin just trying to get it out of there. So as we mentioned, the horn went off, but that doesn't matter. The corner continues. And now we're in an extended corner situation. Again, to what end? Swarthmore has to get it past the broken line to end the corner in their favor. Passed across to Carroll. Carroll's shot deflected wide. That would have been a free hit coming in, but that means it is not a corner. And thanks to the save by Conklin, a break, and they survive a flurry in the final 30. Goal number 2 of the game scored by number 19, Carolina Riley, has given a 2-goal lead back to the visiting Diplomats here in this important Centennial Conference matchup. We go to the 4th. Franklin and Marshall 3, Swarthmore 1. Back to Clothier Field in a moment here on the Garnet Sports Network. Fourth quarter back underway here from Clothier Field. Darryl Dobas back with you here for, well, hopefully more than 15 minutes, but that's going to be up to the ladies in Garnet. As down the right side, Finley trying to get in the circle, but Thistlethwaite there to cut it off for Franklin and Marshall. Taken over the sideline, though, so the Garnet with an opportunity here on that sideline about 14 yards in. Passed up top to Cho between the rings. Holding, looking, finally gets in the circle. Kim, shot, kicked aside, look out, aerial sent right in. And I think complaining about the call is Lippy. Lippy gets the save, and the corner coming here. And the chances have been few and far between here for the Garnet. I realize I am calling the game for the home team, but I would think here for any opportunity to tie this game up, the Garnet may have to score on this chance here early in the fourth. It'll be Stankowski to insert, top of the circle. Campbell, drive, shot, deflected, high, off the leg, it appears, of a Diplomat. And another corner coming up for the Garnet. As the call coming in from the assistant coaches of Swarthmore. Stankowski to insert again. See if she goes back to the top of the castle. She will. Drive, smothered right in front. Another opportunity, reverse. That one sends high in the air. That one was knocked down by Lippy and then finally went off the leg of a Garnet player. Clean shot there on the reverse by Campbell after her initial drive got smothered by Riley. Riley doing it all today. Good aerial to near midfield and good spin to get free a little bit by Bench. Draws the foul. Coming over to get the ball to restart here will be Klopp. And she'll leave it off for her mates. It'll be Carrot to McCarthy. And her pass up the sideline right into the leg of Basewitz. Second opportunity. Basewitz called for a 5-yard foul. So McCarthy will get the restart again. Pass may have been deflected by a Garnet stick. Yep. Watching the official signal. Yeah, I had a deflection. And they'll get a free hit from just about where it started on that last time. Darby Klopp on the restart. Pass it to the right side, but cutting into the left was McCarthy. And they can't hook up there. McCarthy from Cherry Creek High School in Englewood, Colorado. We've had some players from Denver that have come into here. And I say, if you've never been to Colorado, it is absolutely beautiful. It's worth your time. Did some ice hockey in Centennial, Colorado for USA Hockey. Absolutely just beautiful, beautiful area out there. Worth your time if you haven't thought about it. And the weather not as cold year-round as you might think in the mountainous regions. As Swarthmore, the restart after that ball was sent long by the Diplomats, but the pass stolen away by Klopp to the circle. Shot going wide. Not by much. Conklin let it go. Swarthmore dodging a bullet. Trying a dodge, not working there. Basewitz. Stealing it was McCarthy. Sent into the circle. Cho trying to dig it out. Cho able to get it. Off the reverse stick, though, of Campbell. Back to the Diplomats. McCarthy gets through. Advantage given. Drive taken. Untouched. So play was allowed to continue and a miss hit by McCarthy. Swarthmore has not had too many opportunities, although they have gotten 6 corners. They haven't had too many opportunities to really produce offensively. As a pass back here, goes to Thistlethwaite. Stolen, but that's because it went off the leg of Kim. And the Diplomats can restart. Knocked out a play. Could have been a stick foul called against Campbell. Either way, it goes over to Carrot and the Diplomats. Passed up to McCarthy, and her misplay actually works out. It goes off of Basewitz's foot. And again, driven into Basewitz. McCarthy on the restart. Fakes a pass, got Cho out of the way. Deflected by Basewitz. And now a foul here on Swarthmore. Stick fouls. It's carried in by Klopp. Into the circle. Holding their ground. Holding, driven. And a bad break there is Kira Bench. Just turned around and drove it. And I couldn't quite catch the number, but it went right up into the body of a Swarthmore defender who was down for the tackle. If that came up a little higher, that might have caught her in the face. Good thing that didn't happen. 9:43 to go. Time and chances dwindling here for the Garnet. Darby Klopp, insert. Up top to Riley. Riley across. Teammate having trouble with it, and Carroll. Carroll turns it over. Cleared out. Finley will carry down the right wing. Cuts it inside. Finley with some speed. Has Kim down the right side. Able to get past Thistlethwaite. Into the circle. Kim wants a shot. Does, but it goes off of a player from Franklin and Marshall. And that's been the best offense right now for Swarthmore. That quick push down the alley. Getting into the circle. As again, here comes number 25, Anna Stankowski. She will probably insert. Although, no, she will come out. Play around the circle. It will be the captain, Callie Cho, out of Austin, Texas. And St. Stephen's Episcopal. Sends it along the ground up top. Mishandled but gathered back by Campbell. Campbell across. Shot coming in. Kicked away by the left pad of Lippy. Still loose in the circle. Hacked that, whacked that. Lots of bodies, lots of sticks. And finally, a corner will be called here on a foul by Franklin and Marshall. Good opportunity there for Basewitz and crew, but could not get it in past the solid defense of the Diplomats and their outstanding senior goalie, Sydney Lippy. Not the only Sydney goalie. Sydney Kuhn out of Short Hills, New Jersey. Up top again from Stankowski, misplayed. Back to the broken line, trying to drive it in as Fuselier. Just hops in the circle, hops. And now the foul is going to be called here against Swarthmore. Georgia Pastore, another sophomore. She has started 4 games, played in 6. She has a 1.34 goals against. Kuhn has a 2.19. As a team, they have a goals against average of .83. Which is insane at any level and after 12 games. Diplomats trying to stay a half game behind Johns Hopkins, who won earlier today, 1-0 against Muhlenberg. And set up a big matchup with the Blue Jays later on this week. 8 minutes left to go in regulation. Driving is Franklin Marshall. Into the circle, it's driven. Turning around to get free is Carroll. Carroll wanted a shot, but teammates got in the way, and third-party obstruction called. I'm your all-purpose broadcaster. Phillies 1 out away from going to the NLCS. Dallas coming into town for Sunday Night Football tomorrow. Flyers losing, but they ended up winning their first game. Sixers about ready to start. Not a bad time to be in Philly, at least as a sports fan. There's a foul called here against Swarthmore. corner. 16 coming up. Highest total since Rowan. 7:21 left. Swarthmore cannot be affording to play defense constantly here. They need offense. And right now what they need is a stop here on this corner. Klopp decided with the coaches they're going to go off to the left side, up the top of the field. In the shadows under the lights. Top it goes to Riley. Riley fake the shot, passes it off, down along the ground, gets in on Conklin, save made. And after the save, a foul here against the Diplomats. And a quick restart by Amanda Rossler. Up the sideline. Stolen away by the Diplomats. Kim tried to get it back. Trying to hustle after it. Can't do it. Smart play there by Thistlethwaite to stop it, but Swarthmore Garnet able to pick it up with Kim. Kim trying to run down that right side. Good job by the Diplomats to get back on defense. Kim drives, deflected, but the foul's actually going to be called on Kim. And Kim actually talking to the official saying, "What'd I do?" So a free hit coming here for Franklin and Marshall with 6:10 to go. Then they turn it over the sideline. Driven in quickly. Was touched, no problem, but now foul called here against Kim. .16 coming out here for the Diplomats. Thistlethwaite. Her pass stolen away. Garnet need to get the ball back and need to get a ball back in the cage and do so quickly, but now everything going against them. So the clock dips under 5.5 to go. Flicked on it right on the stick of Miller. Carroll. Down the end line, kicked away by Conklin. And a free hit coming out as it goes over the end line. Restart by Klopp. She'll send it back. Klopp gets it back. Down the left side on the reverse stick, trying to push it, gets cut off by 3 different Garnet players. Cho trying to help out. Foul outside the circle, so not a corner. And even though right up against the circle, you can't drive it in. That's an old rule. Maybe about 10, 12 years ago, maybe more. Used to be you could drive it in just right from there, but considered too dangerous. Foul by Franklin and Marshall, and then a miss hit. Dangerous on the far side there. I believe that was Landry. With 4 minutes to go. Dribbling into a triple team right there. Not the smartest player to go there for Cat Study. Chance here for the Garnet. However, it's picked up. Good play by Cat Thistlethwaite. Up the left side, pass attempt misfired on, but given right back by the Garnet. And passing it back and trying to get some space here are the Diplomats. Pass across, stolen away by Kim. Kim trying to push it on pass, but Thistlethwaite right there to play defense. Nice job right there. And then misplay by Thistlethwaite. Better job that time by Kim. 3:20 left to go. Garnet need to get something going. That's not going to do it. A foul on Cho. Franklin Marshall just a little too quick today for the Garnet. last thing that Swarthmore could afford to do was, give up goals, but give them up early and often. And unfortunately for the Garnet, 2 goals in the first half of the first quarter. Going to prove to be a killer here today. Loose ball bounding around. Getting it is McCarthy. Tried to send it up. Stolen away. Tackle from behind slows a pass up. And now a foul is going to be called against Hitchingham on that loose ball. Restart for the Diplomats. Taking your time is Carrot. Sent up the sideline, but it was deflected out by Hitchingham. And be played from the sideline by McCarthy. Can't drive it in, but again, defense right there. Knocked out by Hitchingham. One more time. Right now, Franklin Marshall will take this with under 2 to play. It is good defense, but it's just as good offense. As Klopp dancing in the corner right now. And a foul called, a stick foul here called against the Garnet. And Klopp right now in a triple team, just making offensive moves. As long as you're moving offensively, you can just hang there forever. And Klopp, that's exactly what she's doing. It seems almost silly. And just knocks it off the leg of a Garnet player again. She'll duck out. McCarthy will restart. And the wrong side of the stick. It hits from Kim. And now we'll bring in someone new to try. It'll be Carrot. Again, the Diplomats not trying to do anything with it, just killing time. And this time it goes off of Carrot and the restart. Up the left side here. Trying to push it on his base width. Foul call to hit the body of Riley. Under a minute to go, and the pass to the middle of the field stolen away. Miller across, but the step up and never got over to Carroll. Good job by Landry. To Twitchell. Trying to get it up on the run on that far side. To Elizabeth Zach, but too far. And for all intents and purposes, that is going to do it today for the Garnet, as the aerial will just be thrown out of play. It's a sideline in for the Garnet with 16 seconds left. To Kim. Sends it across. Twitchell wants to try to restart, but with 5 seconds left, it's not going to matter. Kim will just pass it back. Flicking it, it'll be Rossler. And that will do it here from Clothier Field. A solid effort trying the Garnet, but the offense too strong, at least early on, from Franklin Marshall. Speed too much, good pacing, good spacing, and strong offense from Franklin and Marshall. Here today, they've been averaging over 2 goals a game, in fact 2.3. That's going to go up here with the 3 goals they scored today. 16-8, the advantage on corners, 2-1. Shots on goal, double as well, 13-6. Sydney Lippian will get the win in goals. She goes to 7-1. Her goals against, though, going to go up a little bit. Just the 3rd she's allowed, but she's still one of the best in the nation in goals allowed and save percentage. The loss is going to go to the freshman Cassandra Conklin. She's going to fall to 8-5. She had 9 saves and was under duress for much of the game. Lippy, by the way, had 5 saves. 2 goals by Riley, 1 goal by Miller for the Diplomats. The lone goal, the first of the year for Swarthmore, by Elizabeth Zach. So that'll put Franklin and Marshall at 6-0. They hit the 10-win mark. They're on a 7-game win streak. And that means that coming up, the next game, Wednesday the 19th at home, Lancaster will invite Johns Hopkins, the number 6 ranked team in the nation. And the team that is also receiving votes in Franklin and Marshall will have a chance to make a statement, as the top 2 teams in the Centennial will battle in that one. Just a second loss at home this year for Swarthmore. The other one was against Rowan. Ends a 4-game home win streak for them. It's a second two-game losing streak as well for the Garnet. They will have a team that was ranked. They will be at Ursinus on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, then at Dickinson, who picked up their first win of the year in conference today. That'll be Saturday at 1, and they will finish out the season with a two-game homestand, Wednesday the 26th against Bryn Mawr, and Saturday the 29th, 4 o'clock against Haverford. Both of those games we will have for you right here on the Garnet Sports Network. Last look at games across the Centennial. Washington College is going to go to 3-3, and they're going to end up tied right now with Swarthmore in conference play, and that's important because head-to-head will be a tiebreaker. So now Washington College near the end of the fourth quarter with a 6-2 lead on Gettysburg. So they're going to win that one. They're going to go to 3-3 conference. They're going to go to 6-7 and on a modest two-game win streak. And then Dickinson got their first win of the year against Ursinus 2-1. Bryn Mawr stays with the leaders up top, 5-1 over McDaniel today, and we already mentioned Johns Hopkins with the 1-0 win against Muhlenberg. That'll do it here from Clothier Field on the campus of Swarthmore University. We hope you enjoyed it. It's a split here if you're a Philadelphia fan. Swarthmore loses, Phillies win. Couldn't get 2 for 2 for you, but hopefully the ladies can turn it around on Wednesday at Ursinus. 3-1 our final. The Diplomats, with the road win, have now won 14 straight over your Garnet. I am Daryl Dobas saying thank you so much for watching. We will see you again Wednesday the 26th as Bryn Mawr College comes into town as the season winds down. You have been watching Swarthmore Athletic Competition Field Hockey here on the Garnet Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.